I'm Ashton Addison from the Crypto Coin Show. Today on Blockchain Interviews with Raamayan Ananda, CEO of Veme. Raamayan, welcome to the show, and it is great to see you again.
Yeah, man, it's good to be here. It's been a journey.
Yeah, and I'm especially interested in hearing from you as an expert in the space right now because community and memes have been hotter than ever in blockchain, and I know that's a big part of what Veme has been working on for many, many years now. Since, maybe even since Doge was the only meme coin, and now there's a whole community and billions of dollars of market cap in there. And I feel like you guys just predicted this. So I'm excited to dive into everything. I would love to start off our conversation today with, first of all, just getting a little bit of background on yourself and in business and blockchain and what gets you so excited about the space. And then we can dive into everything Veme.
Yeah, man. So I got into the space right when the Bitcoin white paper came out. I remember reading it in the early days because even before the Bitcoin white paper, we were working with a group of people that are now running Holochain, Art Brock and the community over there. Fernanda, there's a project called the Metacurrency Project, and I was really passionate about these ideas around how we could change value in the world. There was a real luminary, his name was Michael Linton, and he had a system called the LET system, or the Local Exchange Trading System, actually out of Vancouver. And so I was really passionate about new money systems just because I saw the level of control that the money system had on our world. And when you really start getting into systems change thesis and you trace a lot of the issues back, a lot of it ends up coming back to the centralization and control of money.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't actually believe in the Bitcoin white paper when it first came
Mm-hmm.
out because I saw, okay, we're replicating digital gold, but that doesn't actually solve the problem. And I didn't really understand it until I think Ethereum came out. It was
Mm-hmm.
really when Ethereum came out, and I was there. I read the Kickstarter page for Ethereum. I remember reading smart contracts, and my mind just went, I'm like, oh, I get it. This is way more than just digital gold. This is actually a new methodology of being able to create value exchange transparently. This is a new way to take out the middleman in all types of contractual relationships. And back then, I actually thought just like contracts that were smart. Like I was like an advertising contract or a
Mm-hmm.
contract to pay somebody in their job, or like I was thinking quite literally. I didn't have any idea of the level that it would be today, like DeFi and like I definitely didn't predict it then, but I definitely saw at that point this is going to change our world. This ability to decentralize the distribution of capital, the ability to build trustless networks, the ability to disintermediate and to create direct relationships was really powerful. And
Mm-hmm.
so I've been in this space for a long time. And I got into this space really because I see the ability for self-determination and the community self-determination and the
Mm-hmm.
ability for groups of people to decide how they want to interact and to create much more sovereignty. Uh, and that was what got me into this in the beginning.
Wow, that's incredible. That's being there on day one, and looking back in hindsight, it does seem like it was meant to be that Bitcoin wasn't the only cryptocurrency. Yes, sure, we're digitizing gold, but there's limitations on all the different functionalities that you need. And yeah, I was there as well with the birth of Ethereum and thinking smart contracts, okay, this is the programmability we need to be able to revolutionize every industry, not just the payment part, but everything related around the payment and the actual business, which is incredible. And who knew that we would be able to start tokenizing and monetizing memes and culture on the internet and be able to trade it freely. If you mentioned that, 20 years ago, right before Bitcoin, they would think this is insane. But here we are. And I know you and your team at Veme have been working for a long time on tying these aspects of culture and community into the blockchain and on-chain. Would love for you to speak a little bit about the vision and what you and your team are working on at Veme.
Yeah, sure. So, there's a couple of things. One, we believe that the future of social is communal. Um, and that communal networks are going to run the future of our world, not just social networks. And that the evolution of this kind of arena of social, which is like the adolescent phase, right? When you're an adolescent, it's all about you. It's about validation. It's about how good people see you. It's about the likes. It's about your follower count going up, and it's a very primal part of our being. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a phase of ego development. But as you grow older, you're like, wait a second, this is not just all about me. It's kind of exhausting. That's kind of boring now. Okay, I went through that phase. It's all about us. How do we create value together? How do we build communities? How do we build real, authentic relationships? What are we creating in terms of our value together? Right? And I think the meme tokens are also going through this, right? I think what people don't really talk about around the meme token is that two things. One, they're battle testing the blockchain networks themselves because of the high transaction volume. And two, it's the first time we've been able to like monetize internet culture in such a, clear and easy way. And what's actually happening is that communities are coming together and realizing the power of network effect. This kind of started during the Wall Street bets time when a group of memers on a subreddit decided to, give the Wall Street bankers shorting Bed Bath and Beyond a run for their money and realize the power of a meme community could actually be the thing that threatened Wall Street. Nobody would have thought in a million years that a group of Redditors posting memes all around the internet and galvanizing community could actually challenge the might of one of the biggest institutions. And this spoke a lot to me. I was like, okay, we're learning about network effect power. We're learning about the power of us as a collective to exercise our memetic or cultural power to create real world effects and real world impact. So while a lot of meme tokens now are like kind of BS, a lot of them are like pump and dump mechanics, a lot of them are like 20 minutes and the value is gone, a lot of them are rug pulls. It's like it's a young phase, it's an immature phase, kind of like the ICOs of 2017 were. Right? That's the kind of phase we're at for meme coins right now. So what we track at Veme is we track what is the evolution of this? Where is this going? Right? How do we actually start to build communal networks that understand the power of shared memetics? How do we understand what memetics really are? And the word meme came from Richard Dawkins in the 70s, describing how DNA communicated wirelessly with its environment. And it became a field of epigenetics, and then the field of memetics became a science. If you go look at Wikipedia, you look at memetics, it is the science of information and culture transfer across the world. And then it jumped to an internet meme where you had a photo with text over it. It's like, why did that happen? How did the entire field of memetic sciences become like an image with text? Where did that occur? It occurred because that was the quickest and simplest and easiest way to convey a piece of information. You have text, left brain, image, right brain. The simplest unit of culture. And that same image, which acts as a certain part of our brain, can be recontextualized thousands of times to be a visual metaphor for a statement. So any subculture, any niche could use those same templates to express themselves across the internet, and that built culture. Then it evolved into GIFs because the internet bandwidth started getting a little better and we started having moving photos. And now 90% of internet traffic this year is short form video. Short form video has won the medium wars. It is literally the most used and the most predominant medium. It's the most fast growing medium by far. And so now the theme literally stands for video meme. That's what it means in the dictionary. So the video memetic is a recognition that short form video is the current zeitgeist of the meme sphere. And so we are propagating and we're creating the evolution of that. So, Veme is two things, right? One, it is using Veme templates in short form video to share ideas because anybody can use those same templates in any type of culture with now video, high resolution video with audio to remix and reuse and reshare culture. So that's one. The second thing Veme is, it's a social video network built for communities. So rather than just building a social video network around a brand or a personality, we're basically doing what Reddit did by creating subgroups and sub niches and having v/communities. So any subgroup, any niche, any Web3 community can create a subtheme and organize their community and co-create content using short form video. So those are the two things that Veme is about. And the Web3 components are really focused on how do we allow users to own their own data and own their own identity? How do we create incentive reward structures using smart contracts so that the value accrued in the network goes back to the users? And how do we create a methodology so that the future meme tokens are going to be community tokens, which is our thesis.
Wow, it's fascinating. And I feel like for some, it could get confusing because it's monetizing culture. And, in the centuries past, even with Bitcoin, it's a new asset and people are like, I don't understand. This is different than it ever has been before. So I need to understand how this fits into my current reality. And the transition with memes of like, yeah, it's a text on top of a picture. Okay, how all of a sudden am I now investing in this idea of the meme? But even so, it's gotten so popular that I think maybe even more people can relate to memes than they can Bitcoin. It's just a matter of understanding how the monetization part fits in there. But I feel like we're still in that adolescent phase, as you mentioned.
Yeah, we are definitely still in the adolescent phase because most people who are getting into meme coins are doing it to make money, right? It's wag memes. We're all going to make it. Everybody's going to ape in. Unfortunately, the majority of meme coins have a very select few players who have like MEV algorithmic trading bots who are like sniping the meme tokens at their height and yada yada. So there's actually still a pretty small group of whales that are kind of making the money off most retail investors. But that's the way it is right now. Um, you know, but the idea, a meme is a shared idea, right? So in its infancy, it's this like, wag me, we're all gonna make it, pump the meme token, let's all get rich, kind of idea. But in the future, we're gonna see that a shared meme in a community can evolve. And I'll give you an example. Look at the Shiba Inu community, right? They actually started with a really cool, fun, playful mission. They were one of the first people that said 100% of the token is going to be fair launched. We're going to do it in this innovative way. It's all about the Shiba army. We're all going to build around this mission, and it created this amazing Shiba army community where everybody initially was there to pump the token, but then they were like, come for the meme, stay for the meaning is what we say at Veme, right? Like you came for the meme and now you have these, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. There's 4 million wallets. They're just crossed that threshold, I think, this week. And now they're like, wait a second, we actually want to do something with this. They were here in Dubai. They just raised $12 million, and they're actually going to be
Wow.
building infrastructure. So what started as just a meme, if it's not just like pure pump and dump, if the founders actually have an intention to do something meaningful, that community that rallies around that shared idea can actually create real world value. And that's really powerful. And so we're building a lot of the rails in Veeam to allow that to be deployed really quickly. And so that's where we see the evolutionary trajectory of this going.
Wow, that's incredible, and makes me think about Dogecoin as well as sort of one of the first crypto memes that people think of. And not only that is that, yeah, the underlying infrastructure of it is actually in the top tier of blockchains, that so much that the richest man in the world may integrate that blockchain into Twitter X because of the functionality, not because it's a meme. Of course, that makes it awesome for the community, but because the blockchain is actually really good and fast and cheap, I feel like memes, although there's so much culture around it, it can still have very, very good technology that it's like, hey, there's a reason that this is so popular. It's that it actually works, and it's actually better than other things that we're using. And it's a meme, and we have culture around it.
Mhm. Absolutely. And that's what we want to empower at Veeam, right? We want to create these sub communities, these sub Veeam communities. So we want to create these memetic communities that use short form video as a medium. And we're building a whole different stack of create tools at Veeam because where TikTok and Instagram are all about using the tools to project your personality, better filters make me look better, AR filters, I look sexier, I look better. A communal network is different because you're there more to share and remix culture. You're there to remix current events. You're there to be able to propagate and use templates, and AI is going to be incredible. Different voices, being able to integrate different faces, being able to take certain videos and use them as templates so that any community can recreate. So we're creating a very different stack at Veeam because the focus is building around communities, around shared niches. And what we're building in Veeam is a prompt-based video forum. So any community can be like, hey, what do you think about X? Or, a meme prompt, like, what is it like working with Ashton, at 4 a.m? And everybody can respond with their prompts. And everybody can then see each other's memes in relationship to the prompts. And it can be AMAs, it can be debates, it can be fun memes. And we're using short form video memetics to understand how does the collective see, feel, or perceive our culture. And so this is a social experiment in that way. And eventually those communities on Veeam will be able to mint their own tokens, but that's a later play.
That's very cool, and I'm curious about the intricacies of the platform itself. I'm not a meme creator yet, but I want to join a community, what are sort of the first steps? Is it just like making a social account and being like, hey, I like these memes, I'm going to join the Shiba community, join this community, and then be also to create NFTs or memes? How exactly does that work when people go to the Veme platform?
Yeah, so it works like any other platform where you go and it'll suggest you different sub-communities that are relevant to you. So most onboarding will say, hey, these are accounts that would be interesting to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once you do, you're inside of a community, and most people, about 90% of people are more browsers. What we're doing is we're creating tooling to allow people to express their ideas with a click,
Mm.
right? So what do you feel about X? Okay, write a simple prompt and our AI will help you generate a meme, as an example, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we want to deploy memetics as an easy methodology to express.
Mm-hmm.
NFTs, we're actually making a little bit more special in our app, meaning like if you're part of a collective meme thread, the best meme in that thread will get minted as an NFT. So we're creating NFTs as a way to immortalize the kind of meme lords or the best memes inside of a niche or a group or a category. So rather than minting everything, which I think devalues on some level,
Mm-hmm.
unless you're using something like Lens Protocol, which is using an NFT purely as an indicator of decentralized content. If you're using it as culture, it should be something that actually has stood out as a zeitgeist of that culture. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how we're building that in.
I love that, the focus on preserving value as well. And yeah, I feel like if you tokenize every single thing, your account, the name of the account, every picture that you have on there, it's like sure, everything's tokenized, but does it really have any value in it?
Not really.
And what you mentioned there about using AI to help create the meme or help shape the community, I feel like that's something that as more people are starting to use products like Midjourney or Dolly, things like that to actually create images, I feel like that's going to be an integral part of potentially creating memes or developing communities. And I don't know how deep the AI will be in actually joining the community, maybe as a sentient being of its own. But what are your thoughts on how AI is sort of fitting into these communities, at least in the way that Veme envisions it over the coming years?
Sure. So we envision a couple of different ways. One, in content creation, right? Text to video coming out. That's going to be
Mm-hmm.
huge for us as a short form video network where you can literally express and create such high quality content, which would be reserved usually for very high level film creators. The level of what that's going to unlock for a creative expression is going to be huge. One. Two, voiceovers, text to voice, impersonating different voices. VM culture is a lot about humor. It's a lot about remixing, right? If you look at, Lessig and the Creative Commons and remix culture, the ability for us to remix parody is an integral part of what it means to be human and what it means to be part of a free society. Of course, there's going to be limits to that because we, don't want to promote hate speech. But the communities also have the power to moderate themselves. And that's why I like building a communal network. Because in Reddit, a lot of the responsibility comes on that community to moderate their own community. And if you don't moderate your own community
Mm-hmm.
well, then that's when you get flagged. But like we really want to give the power to the communities to moderate, which is
Mm-hmm.
another way AI comes in. AI can really help flag malicious content, child pornography. You don't want any of that stuff on your platform.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so using AI to be able to see and help flag, it's not perfect. There's going to be a lot that gets through those filters, but using it as a filtration system. But the thing that's actually the most exciting to me about all of it is I'm looking at, one of the formats that we're going to have on Veeam, which is debates, right? So you're going to have a debate and we're creating short form video debates where people will be able to debate and respond to other videos with videos. So we're creating video threading. Part of the issue we have in this world is there's no way for us to sense make anything, right? You have a whole community, you have thousands of videos and thousands of comments in this linear thread, and then the end. With AI, what you can actually do is you can pull a lot of that transcript data, you can crunch it, and you can reflect it back to the collective saying, okay, out of 3,000 videos that were posted around this debate, this was actually the things that stood out that were the most common, and these are the parts that we had the most difference. So what's interesting is using AI as a sense-making apparatus, which, to me is probably one of the highest uses of AI.
That's very cool, and I love that. And I f- I'm excited to see exactly how AI fits in terms of the actually interaction with users and the moderation of the community as Veeam grows. I'm curious on your thoughts on the decentralized autonomous organization or like the government part in actually the human interaction. When you create a community on Veme, if it's to do with, for example, Shiba, do you hold the tokens and then you can vote on how the community is shaped? Or is it just a one person, one vote? If you're in the community, you get a say. How do you sort of envision governance in communities in how to shape and grow them?
So we have 4 levels that we're envisioning, which is fans, friends, uh, what is it? Followers, fans, friends, family, right?
Mm.
So I think one of the things that DAOs have got wrong in the past is that one, it allows payment tokens to be moderation, right? Which is problematic because it's so easy to take down or take over a community or take over governance and do governance attacks. And it makes the whole thing a mess, right? It's like if the US dollar was your vote, which, arguably you could say that it is, and, that's a whole other conversation, but we won't go there for right now. But, technically in a democracy, you have a vote that you can deploy, right? That's, independent of your monetary ability. I think that's really important. Two, you can prove that by interaction. So the more you engage, the more you interact, the more you participate, the more you're able to rank up. And your participation in the community, the nature of how active you are, how much you give to that community is a much better benchmark of your ability to vote and actually have meaning than, a token that you can buy and pay for. We envision the token, the meme token, being, when we say the future meme tokens are community tokens, where right now meme tokens are launching and they put ostensibly 100% in a liquidity pool, we envision a percentage of those going in a community pool. So maybe 80% goes in the liquidity pool and 20% of those tokens remain as a community fund. That community fund is essentially the treasury that as the token pumps, as the community grows, those funds grow, and now you actually have a pool that's governed by the community to look at deploying for issues, projects, creative ideas, things that the community wants to birth and grow. So I really believe that the future token is going to be the community token. And we've already built a lot of the UI UX for this to happen, but it's actually going to become a late next year. Like we're really gonna get the Veme communities active and using this core mechanic of creating a short form video social network. And once that mechanic is really well proven out, we'll introduce a lot of those building blocks later.
Yeah, no, that I like that, and I feel like interaction is key, and not being able to just buy your votes or just take over a small community and do with it what you want. It's like there's a lot of things that still need to be worked out in DAOs, so I'm excited to test that out in the Veme platform. And it's amazing to see how big memes in the monetization side of it and the market cap of them have grown this year. I feel like it's like the biggest year ever for memes. Of course, they've been around forever, and in crypto, Doge has been around forever, but it wasn't until this year or in the past 12 months where we've seen a handful of memes also have multi-billion-dollar companies or market caps. I feel like this trend is going to continue, and it's only going to get bigger. But I feel like investors or people that are in the blockchain industry have a hard time. Maybe it's the understanding of how this culture is monetized, but making that a part of their investment portfolio diversification, and that, hey, I need to be investing in AI projects, but I also need to be investing in meme projects. What do you think about that mindset that investors have in how they need to legitimize memes and culture into actually investing into it?
It's kind of funny to see, to be honest, because it's like meme culture is so antithetical in many ways to VC culture. It's like they're almost diametric opposite in some ways, you know? And like the VCs are like, I want to get it on the game because money is being made. And the meme culture guys are like, well, this is kind of ours, you know? Like, so I think you're gonna have VCs, of course, back meme tokens and back bigger meme tokens, but I think the speed at which meme tokens move is so fast. It is so quick. I mean, funnily enough, the life cycle of most meme tokens is like 20 minutes, actually, funnily enough. There's a couple that you see, like the Pepes and the Bonks and whatever, that most people look at. But I would say 99.9% of meme tokens are like very quick arcs and
Hmm.
like big launches to the communities and big ups and down cycles. And it's almost impossible to catch the
Hmm.
knife on that. So the VCs that will try to catch the knife on that are ones that are MEV, like the ones that are
Hmm.
investing deeply inside of like
Hmm.
automated smart contracts, sniper bots, and infrastructure, yada yada yada. It's a whole other world.
Hmm.
The ones that actually want to invest in communities, that's where it's going to get interesting. Because when a meme token actually has a plan beyond just its own quick, small cycle of self gratification, when a group and a collective people say, we actually have a vision of where we're going and we're orienting around this shared meme, and we're going to continue to build this memetic to build hype and grow this community and grow something that's actually going to build, that gets interesting. Which is why Shiba closed 12 million so quickly in their last round, right? Investors and VCs are going to probably invest in a bit of a later stage when they see that a meme token has some longevity to it, when they actually have something that they're building in the world that they're creating beyond just their own meme, because the life cycle of that is actually not very long, right? And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where VCs invest. At Veme, we call ourselves the ultimate meme token. And we're calling ourselves the ultimate meme token because we're building a communal network. So, once you build a home where communities own and operate specifically around memetics, and then you introduce a deployment methodology built around communities, not just the self-gratification of the meme itself, you're able to become the platform for the maturation and the evolution of the space into its next cycle. And that's our intention.
It's beautiful, Raamayan. And maybe you can touch a little bit on the roadmap or what comes next for Veme as the meme space continues to grow. How are you going to increase access for the community, and sort of what steps are involved in making the platform more interactive and getting more people involved into the meme platform?
No, it's a great question. One of the things we're doing right now is we're building Telegram and Discord mini apps, bots, so that you can implement the Veeam functionality directly into any community you already have. So rather than just making people come to our app, we want to go where the communities are and allow them to exercise a lot of the Veeam functionality inside of those communities, and then give them an incentive to come to the Veeam app because there's much richer functionality in there. So that is the next part of our roadmap that we're launching. We're going to be, launching public sales come end of June is our proposed timeline. Don't quote me on that. Things in this space kind of move and shift a lot, but we want to start getting the public in on Beam and allowing them to participate and start becoming co-owners of this with us and start becoming, more than just part of our Telegram and Discords, but actually invested in the success of this project. So, that's going to be coming up over the next couple of months. So, stay tuned. Definitely go to beam.com and check out our communities. And if you're interested in that, come participate. And then Telegram bots are going to be coming out this summer. And then come September, when we're actually planning to do our more public outing into the world, our app will be available more for the public. And over the next few months, our app is built right now, but we're allowing and only getting beta users and beta communities from our community, from our Telegram bot, from our token buyers and giving them special access because we're in the cycle of getting a lot of feedback, iteration, and growth. So that's where we are with Theme.
Very cool. I'm looking forward to those dates. And I actually love that you're tying into where the communities are at. I've seen social platforms, they create an awesome product, but there's a huge network effect on, the billion users on Telegram. And they're just like, they're stuck in their head on Telegram, and they just don't see the value until you create something like a Telegram bot that actually injects the value that Veeam has into Telegram directly, and the people are like, oh, I can actually use this on the platform that I am on already, and I can move over to Veeam to get more value. I feel like that's an amazing strategy, and I've seen a few great companies start building Telegram bots and tying into existing network effects. So I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for that moving forward. And I'm going
Well, they're
to,
also,
yeah.
Telegram is building mini apps, right? They've now evolved their bots into mini apps. You know, I really didn't wake up to how powerful Telegram has become until this conference, where they announced here, the founder was here, and he announced that USDT and Telegram have just done a partnership. And I've been using the mini apps now, and you can one click deploy a wallet, right? Um, They're building wallet native functionality.
Mm-hmm.
Telegram's going all in on this space, the
Mm-hmm.
TON blockchain. You don't have to use their tokens. You can use USDT. You can purchase USDT using your credit card directly from
Mm-hmm.
Telegram. I mean, they're helping people cross the biggest hurdle in crypto, which is ease of adoption and ease of use and ease of setup. And they have 1 billion users.
Mm-hmm.
So they're creating the rails. They are going to be the new app store, right? So I'm really bullish on that for the Web3 community. And I think anybody who's not paying attention to that and really putting an active plan to build on that is falling behind, which I was. I was one of the
Mm-hmm.
people falling behind. But we've rallied our community and rallied our developers and our teams to be like, modify, build this now. This is the highest priority. So here we are.
Amazing, very cool. Raamayan, I'm going to be following along with progress for Veme. I'm going to put a link in the show notes to the platform so people can check out and follow along for those June potential dates that you mentioned, and also end of the summer. If memes continue as hot as they were throughout the summer, and even when I've noticed, even when Bitcoin is sideways or sort of boring, memes are still so hot because there's so many people getting into this culture that I feel like it's not going to slow down. So I'm looking forward to checking out the platform as it continues to develop. And I'm wishing you and your team all the best with Veme, and would love to follow up again in the near future.
I would love that, Ashton. Thanks so much for having me on your show, man.